Okay, real quick, we're going to talk about decomposing fractions because you've heard that word before. You've heard this word decomposing. We've talked about it in science more than we have math. Decomposing just means to break something apart. So when we talk about decomposing a fraction, it's exactly that. We're going to break the fraction apart. Now this fraction we're going to do is 1 and 3/4. I know that we haven't talked about, when we have a whole number with a fraction in kind of a while, but these are just called mixed numbers. They're not really any more complicated than regular fractions. It just means that the fraction is over one whole if it's a mixed number because it has a whole number in it. So if I want to show 1 whole and 3/4 as a fraction, I first do a model to make the 1 whole, but I cut this model into 4 pieces because remember it's whatever the denominator is. So even though I'm showing a whole here, I'm going to cut it into the 4 pieces to match that denominator. So there's my 1 whole and my 3/4 is going to be on this model. So what I've created here is 1 whole and 3/4. Now, if I wanted to write this as a decomposed fraction, I could count the pieces in this model. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4/4. Because remember, 4/4 is the same as a whole. We talked about that too. 4/4 plus 1, 2, 3, 3 out of 4. Because remember, it's not all the way colored in. So it's only 3/4. And that's one way that 1 whole and 3/4 could be decomposed by breaking it into its parts. Now, we could even break it up into more numbers. I could have, instead of writing the 3/4 here, let me go back. Maybe instead I could have wrote 1/4 plus another 1/4 plus another 1/4. Because I'm kind of looking at it like all of these little 1/4 are separate. This one, and this one. And I still would have gotten the same answer. 1 whole and 3/4. So decomposing fractions doesn't mean you're actually solving for anything or you're really changing anything. You're just taking a fraction that already exists, like 1 whole and 3/4, and you're breaking it into little fraction pieces that add up into that number. So use this one as an example when you start on your independent practice. I'll have another example on the next slide without a video that just shows you with another example of what it'll look like.